Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and let's continue this playlist English Grammar from Zero, lesson 35. Really, this playlist is extremely important, and not just very, but extremely important. So for our progress, for our English grammar, listening, reading, and speaking practice. Okay, let's talk about past simple. So how do we need to use this tense? And how do we form it? So you need to use the second form. And you also need to know that verbs in English can be regular, and if it's a regular verb, we add ed. So verb plus ed. So in other words, we see ed at the end of the verb. For example, present simple, he works too much. Past simple, we look at the verb and we add ed plus ed, so he worked too much. She wanted to find a better job. Okay, but English verbs can be irregular too, and you need to remember these verbs and their forms. For example, say is an irregular verb. You see, say, said, said. He said it loudly or quietly, yeah? So, go. So, this verb is irregular. So, we need to know go, went, gone. So, and if we want to say it in past simple, we need to use the second form. So, it's the first form, the second form, and the third form. We need the second form. So, he went there by car. Next, I lived there a long time ago. So, you see that this verb is regular because it has ed in the end. They lived happily. Next, they played in one team. I played football yesterday. I tried to help him. I tried to pass the exam. I needed more time. I needed to find it urgently. You see, all these verbs are regular, so you see ed. Next, she helped me a lot, or that experience helped me a lot. So, yeah, this verb is regular. It happened to me, so we say happened to. It happened to us. It happened to him. It happened to her. And it happened to them. One more example. A strange thing happened to my boss. So, happened. I remembered it at last. Yes, you see this verb is regular again. I remembered the meaning of this word. She closed her eyes. I closed the door. I opened the door. She opened her eyes. I decided to learn English here. You know that we mostly put to between two verbs, like here. So decide to do something, yeah? We decided to meet tomorrow. She asked me to wait for her. So we need to because it's in infinitive. I asked her to help me. Okay, and some more examples, especially for you. So you'll see this list, which is full of very useful examples indeed. I worked hard. So you see this verb is regular. She said it loudly. Irregular. I needed more time. Regular. They wanted to find a better place. Regular. We decided to meet tomorrow. Regular. I remembered the meaning of this word. Regular. We lived in America. regular. I played football yesterday. Regular. I needed to find it urgently. Regular. Okay, next. She needed your support. I closed the door. It happened to me. She worked too little. They played in one team. It happened to his family. She tried to find her mistakes. I decided to become a businessman. He decided to buy an expensive car. He worked too much. We played together. A strange thing happened to my boss. They lived happily, or they lived unhappily. I decided to learn English here. I decided to watch all the videos. She opened her eyes. We wanted better lessons. I remembered the meaning of this phrase. Your lesson helped me a lot. I needed your help. That experience helped me a lot. I asked her to help me. He went there by car. I opened the door. I went there by bus. I tried to pass the test. I needed to pass that exam. I tried to help him. He asked me to read it urgently. I remembered everything. It happened a long time ago. We passed the test. They failed the test. An interesting thing happened to our company. I lived there a long time ago. I remembered it at last. She wanted to find a better job. She helped me a lot. They said it very quietly. I remembered all the words. She closed her eyes. She asked me to wait for her. So, my friends, as you see, so really, everything is easy. So, when it's about regular verbs, the most difficult thing is to remember irregular verbs. So, really, you need to memorize them, or in other words, you need to learn them by heart. And first of all, you need to know the second form, and I believe that you need to know at least 50 or 70 irregular verbs. Yeah, you need to memorize them. Okay, how can you do it? Well, so you can make special cards and try to learn them. And you know that if we look at our playlist, so actually we'll have lots of practice on irregular verbs too, so don't worry, you'll have this chance, or you'll have this opportunity to practice. And you know that this playlist actually is very good for your listening skills and speaking skills as well. Yeah, if you don't have time, no problem. So I know that many people say, okay, I have no time, but I believe that it's mostly an excuse. So if you really want something, you'll find time for it. And the thing is that you don't need actually to sit in front of your computer and actually to look only at the screen, so you can do other things and you can listen to this playlist as a background, so it's really useful. Okay, my friends, let's continue. Thank you. Listening, reading and speaking practice. Okay, let's talk about past simple. So how do we need to use this tense? So, and how do we form it? So you need to use the second form. And you also need to know present simple. He works too much. Past simple. We look at the verb and we add ed plus ed. So he worked too much. She wanted to find a better job. Okay, but English verbs can be irregular too, and you need to remember these verbs and their forms. For example, say is an irregular verb. You see, say, said, said. He said it loudly. Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and let's continue this playlist English Grammar from Zero, lesson 35. Really, this playlist is extremely important, and not just very, but extremely important. So for our progress, yeah, for our English grammar, that verbs in English can be regular, and if it's a regular verb, we add ed. So verb plus ed. So in other words, we see ed at the end of the verb. For example,